So this Saturday night, finally, Savannah Marshall and Claressa Shields get it on. The GWOAT, the self-proclaimed Claressa Shields, the greatest woman of all time, faces Savannah Marshall. It's the unified champion, the double undisputed champion, who fights against the WBO champion, the unified champion, fights Savannah Marshall in the UK to get the WBO belt to finish her collection to be undisputed yet again. Does it happen? Let's talk about it here on BWTM Sports. Don't go anywhere. Okay, and here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports. Thanks for joining us. If this is your first time, please do smash the like button and consider subscribing. Okay, so for those of you who've been BWTM supporters, viewers for years, you'll know that Savannah Marshall is no stranger to this channel, and nor is Peter Fury. I had the pleasure of meeting Savannah Marshall just after she kind of like broke off with Mayweather and Peter Fury took her in. And yeah, I managed to watch her up close and personal sparring. The girl can punch. She's physically very strong and she can box. And yeah, Peter Fury I've always rated as a very top trainer. Speaks a lot of sense, knows his boxing, and he expects a high work ethic from all of his fighters. Just watching him up close, he knows his boxing. Peter Fury is no mug. He knows his boxing. And over the years, the amount of interviews done with Peter, and Peter, if you're watching this now, I hope that you're well. Over the years, I've known Peter Fury many years, probably as long as I've known Uncle Bashir, over 10 years plus. And he has been a man that's quietly been working in the background, producing good fighters. Obviously worked with Tyson Fury to make him heavyweight champion of the world when a lot of people didn't think he'd beat Klitschko. He's had Hughie Fury, his son, he's worked with as well. Now he's working with Savannah Marshall and worked with Savannah Marshall quietly in the background for a while now. Savannah Marshall has gone on now to become WBO middleweight champion of the world. And yeah, very softly spoken young lady, really nice, no airs and graces about her, just cool, cool girl to hang out, talk to. And yeah, real cool, good sense of humor as well. Just mellow, just a down-to-earth kind of girl, yeah, a really nice girl. But this is business and this is boxing, and this is where I won't bite my tongue, and I won't what's the word? I won't sugarcoat anything because I know them, and you know what to expect from me on BWTM Sports. First and foremost, and I always like to look at this from a different angle now. If I were managing Savannah Marshall, would I be taking this fight against Claressa Shields now? Hell no. No, I wouldn't take this fight now. As much as people want the fight, they want the fight, I would have dragged it out as long as damn possible. And I'll tell you why. I think that Savannah Marshall is just coming into her own as a fighter. I'd like to see her fight against other notable fighters in the division. Now, the problem with that is if you don't take this fight now and you get beat, you're left with a situation like a Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua situation where the fight is there to be made, like it's made now. And then afterwards, You have a situation now where Josh has been beaten, Wilder's been beaten, and it's not got the same value in the fight. So both girls are unbeaten, and the rivalry is still there, so in that sense. And I can understand why they took the fight now, because they may be worried that Savannah may get beaten soon. So let's get this money now. So if you're going to get beat, at least you're getting beat by the GOAT. There's no shame in that. And I can understand it from a financial perspective. But here's my thing. And I'll come on to Shields in a minute. When you see, Peter Fury's done a really great job with Savannah. And when you're around Peter, you'll gain confidence naturally, and you will believe in yourself more. She talks about how people start teaching how to throw punches correctly and land heavy shots and all the rest of it. Yeah, Peter Fury is a great trainer, but he's not a magician. And there's only so much a trainer can teach. And there's only so much a fighter can do in terms of their physicality, the way their body's built, and the way they move. And yes, Savannah Marshall does punch hard. It shows on her resume she can punch very hard. And I've seen in the gym punching hard against men. So, not boys, men, grown professional men. I've seen her sparring. And I've seen her on the heavy bag. And the girl punches very hard. Let me tell you that now, straight up. And she can box. She can box as well, Savannah. Here's what I am concerned about Savannah. And it goes back to those big fights in the big lights. Having big lights, fighting in big lights in Newcastle is one thing. That's your hometown. And, you know, fighting in America when there's not a big crowd there. Those big fights, those super fights, those mega fights, Marshall's not been in them. Marshall's been in some good fights, televised fights on Sky, but nothing to this magnitude, with the whole world are really watching you, and the numerous interviews, and you know you've got to deal with all that. Plus, you've got to deal with Claressa Shields. Not just the media. You've got to deal with Claressa Shields. I'm gonna talk about Claressa Shields. Give me time with her. So yes, she's got the world amateur champion, or the world championship she won as an amateur. She did that, yes, and there's a certain amount of pressure there. But when you talk about the pro ranks and the pressure, and from being, you know, a person kind of like to keep themselves to themselves, and you know, as Peter's had to get her to open herself up, because you know in boxing you can't really keep yourself to yourself. You know, quite closed mouths will not get fed. So they've had to really open Savannah up, because if take Claressa Shields out of the promotion, I mean, you couldn't really expect Savannah to sell the show. The show is being sold by Claressa Shields. If you want to call her the villain, if you want to call her, I want to see her get smashed to bits, or, you know, I love her. Whether you love her or you hate her, Claressa Shields like Marmite. And the fact that people either love her because of her boxing skills and her talent, or they hate her because of her big mouth and the way she speaks. But she has the right to speak that way because of what she's achieved. The people have achieved a lot less in boxing. They've got huge mouths. Nobody says anything about them. And they've achieved half the amount that Claressa Shields has achieved. Let's not forget the 2 gold medals she's won. Yeah? And then undisputed in 2 different weight divisions. I mean, there's no man that's done that. Oh, wait, hold on. Back to back. Well, I think we've had undisputed cruiserweight and heavyweight. But in terms of women, she's done a tremendous job, plus the 2 gold medals as well. So those are things that, particularly in England, which I've noticed, and it's been a recurring pattern. When Terence Crawford came to fight Ricky Burns in the UK, people get caught up in hype and get caught up in the media and do copy and paste from what the media say. I don't actually look at the quality of a fighter, and they disregard a fighter until their UK fighter gets beaten the crap out of. Then they get respect for the fighter after that. But before that, I'll give you examples. Nathan Cleverly was a good example there. When Cleverly fought Kovalev, people kind of like underestimated Kovalev, said this guy is the real deal in terms of punching power. You need to watch this guy. This guy's dangerous. They listen, and you saw what Kovalev did to Cleverly. Yeah, you saw what he did to Cleverly. Another example, Crawford, when he came and fought Ricky Burns. Ricky Burns to beat Terence Crawford. Where was that crap coming from? Where was that? You look at the difference between the styles and the stars and the class of Terence Crawford compared to Ricky Burns, and you saw what happened there. There are numerous occasions where the British media and the British public just push their fighter in front, and they disregard the champion. And I can see that with Claressa Shields as well. She's the quote. Why is she the quote? Why is she this? But the record speaks for itself. You just have to go onto YouTube. Just go to YouTube and watch Savannah Marshall and watch Claressa Shields. And then watch the opposition they fought. Just do it yourself. Go watch Marshall's fights and go watch Claressa Shields' fights. Watch the type of different styles that Shields has fought, different weight classes she's fought at. Girls bigger than her, she's going toe to toe with, and winning those some of the toe to toes, yeah. Getting knocked down in a fight by Hannah Gabriels, getting back up to beating Hannah Gabriels. Things like that, challenges you've seen her in real big fights. Undisputed champion, to go on to unify the belts, to become undisputed champion. These things are things that need a lot of mental strength and fortitude, and people are against you. And again, do your research on something like Claressa Shields. I'm going to come back to Savannah Marshall. Do your research on something like Claressa Shields, when you're talking about where she come from in Flint, Michigan, and the issues with the water, and the issues with America, and the political issues that she has had to deal with as well, being where she's come from and what she's had to deal with. So when she sees someone like Savannah Marshall, to be honest, it's like a red rag to a bull. So when I heard the stuff, I haven't heard what's said yet about the race and Savannah and Claressa Shields bringing race into it. I haven't really heard it out yet. But I'm not surprised. I could have preempted that would come. That's just no surprise, because that stuff as well is what's going to rear her up for this fight. She'll use everything that's been against her, Savannah Marshall, Claressa Shields, and she will focus on Savannah Marshall. And all those things that are reared up inside of her will be coming at Savannah Marshall fight night. I hope that Savannah Marshall is ready for what's coming, right? Now, they talk about the punching power of Savannah Marshall. Yeah, I said, I agree. She can punch. My concern for Savannah Marshall in this fight is a fight she fought against the African girl. Now, let me bring the girl's name up again on BoxRec very quickly. I was watching the fight, and I went back to watch it. I went back to watch it on BoxRec and on YouTube. I was like, really? Let me just get a box. Hold on a second. Let me get this. Right. Silent Assassin. Yes, 12-0, 10 by KO. So she hasn't knocked everybody out. Let's get this right here. Let's see here. First fight she had was a unanimous decision. And her third fight was unanimous. Third or fourth fight was a unanimous decision as well. But let me, here. This is the girl here. Lolita Moenza. That fight right there. Go back and watch a Lolita Moenza fight. It's that fight there that concerns me, because Lolita Moenza came flying out the traps against Savannah Marshall and put it on Marshall. She literally did. But she's not as skilled as Claressa Shields. She doesn't have the hand speed of Claressa Shields. She doesn't have the experience of Claressa Shields. She just doesn't have the class of Claressa Shields, right? The head movement. She hasn't got all that. And even that girl was catching Savannah Marshall going back in straight lines and getting caught, with big right hands. And that's not Claressa Shields hitting you. And I noticed another thing as well, the double jab that Lolita was throwing. She was throwing a stiff double jab to Marshall and was backing Marshall straight back up. And Marshall looked disorganized in that fight. It's only when she was able to make space between her and Lolita. Yeah, she was winging in them uppercuts, but when she's winging in them uppercuts, all her head is wide open to get nailed with big shots. The overhand right that Claressa Shields likes to throw. And the way, if you watch how Marshall, she drops here and she wings them uppercuts in. And that's what she's going to do in the fight, because that's how she fights. She'll wing them uppercuts in. She just wing them in like this. And that's a concern. That the overhand right from Claressa Shields is a shot that I see Marshall not being able to see. To generate the power that I believe Marshall's going to need, she's going to need distance between her and Shields. And Shields doubles the jab up and steps to her and gets on the inside and makes a very uncomfortable night for Marshall, because she's not going to get the balance and be able to set her foot to throw them shots. So she's going to be throwing those shots backing up. So if Marshall isn't mentally strong for this fight, and she isn't switched on, and she doesn't pick her feet up, and she moves around like a mummy, she's going to get nailed with shots. And her defense is not the greatest. She's going to get nailed with shots left, right, and center because of Claressa Shields' hand speed and punching power. They say, well, Claressa's not got punching power. Wait up. You watch those girls at the heavier weight divisions that she fought at, the super middleweight division, for example. No girls walked Claressa Shields back. No one's walked her back. She might not be a one-punch, bang, knock you out sort of artist, but her cumulative effect, particularly with somebody like Marshall, who's going to give her clean, is going to be an open target. Marshall, the way she fights, an arm down like this, and that stuff it's loose. She's boxing like an American, very loose language with a jab, boom, and a jab, and all that stuff. That looks great when when the person's at distance. But once they get coming up close and personal, that's room for disorganization and shots sleeking in through defenses and shots over the top and through the middle. And when you get hit with 5-6 punches, and Marshall's like a buzzsaw. If you look at some of these fights on the highlights, she's throwing 5, 6, 7, 8 shots all over you. This is something that's why Marshall's going to have to take center of the ring, whole set of ring, and make sure Marshall does not get on top of her, doesn't double a jab to her chest and push her up back. Because that right there, that Lolita fight right there was the fight there that fought, my lord. It don't matter how hard Marshall punches. See, now Lolita isn't Claressa Shields. She doesn't have the work rate. She doesn't put the punches together like Claressa does. She hasn't got the class of Claressa. So you can't compare Lolita to Claressa. But if Lolita can hit her with those shots cleanly. Now, for Marshall's side of things, if Marshall stands off and allows Savannah to use the jab and pop the right hand. So for Savannah, she's got to hit Claressa hard and early, gain her respect, and make her have to box her. And don't allow her to walk up on her. Because if she, as they say in America, dog walks her. The dog walks means I do what I want to do with you. If she allows Claressa to dog walk her, it's going to be a very painful night for Savannah Marshall. So Savannah's got to stand in the center ring and say, hold this jab, hold this right hand. You are not going past this tonight. I'm going to keep you at arm's length. And when you come close, I'm going to fire that right hand off. Marshall cannot afford to be nervous, rabbit in the headlights, intimidated, none of that stuff. For me, she's going to be completely out of her comfort zone in this fight. Yes, it's in England. That's the comfort for her. She's in England. She's at the O2 Arena, and she'll have fans cheering for her. Yeah, and she'll get closer booing her. That's fine. The fans can't fight for her. And when them punches are coming, 4 or 5 punches are coming at once, and she's been confused because of it's the speed of punch that will catch Savannah. And the work rate that CLARESSA will put on Savannah is the concern. That's why the way Savannah controls this fight is by using a long jab, keep CLARESSA at distance, and hit her on a hard with a right hand. Really. And when she gets close, tie her up and hold on to her and wait for the referee to break. If she tries to shit out with Marshall, who's got the faster hands, the only thing is if it becomes a shootout between Marshall and Shields, that Marshall can shorten up her shots. If Marshall has the capability to shorten her shots up on the inside and can fight on the inside and can get leverage and land those hard, big shots against Shields, an interesting fight. But there's levels when it comes to punching power. There are levels. And, elite fighters don't get caught with the shots that your average or your good fighter gets nailed with. A good fighter gets nailed with certain shots, but an elite fighter is able to slip, roll, tucks, and sway out of the way of those shots. That is where I kind of think to myself, that's the thing. She's punching against girls that stand in front of her. She's punching in front of girls that lack skill set. She's punching in front of girls that don't have the hand speed and the work rate and the class. And those are the girls she's knocking out. She's not knocking everybody out, remember. First fight was a unanimous decision. And then the third or fourth fight in, she got a unanimous decision as well. So, for me, can Savannah Marshall outbox CLARESSA Shields? For her to do it, she's going to have to knock CLARESSA Shields down a few times or knock her out. Because I don't see her outworking Shields. No, she doesn't outwork Shields. She can't outwork Shields. And I don't believe she can outbox Shields. If Shields is allowed to do what I believe she's going to come and do on the night. I just gave an example of Lolita there. So unless they've tightened that stuff up, Peter Fury would have looked at that. But I said he's not a magician. That languid style, because that's how she'll fight. With that language, she'll come out with that languid style. She may try and box him, maybe move a little faster. But them feet and them hands are no way as fast as CLARESSA's hands. It just can't compare the speed. Or the crispness of the punch is not the same. More longer and big, long, loopy shots. I don't know. It's not a fight that I would be pushing Marshall into. I'd like to see Marshall on the road in America, fight 2-3 fights against good quality opposition, against big names, see her knock over some big names, and then I will say, yeah, let's take this fight. But like I said before, Marshall, emotional. Is she going to be too emotional in this fight? Because in all the fights she's had before, yeah, she's had her back and forth with certain fighters and stuff. But this fight is special because this is the girl that beat her. So emotionally, how is Marshall going to respond? Is she cool and calculated? If she gets hit with something nasty, if she's unable to intimidate Marshall, if the lights don't affect Marshall, if the referee starts to interfere in the fight, what happens then? I mean, Shields is an experienced fighter. So there are a lot of things I'm not concerned with Shields. Big nights, not concerned about that. Mental strength, not concerned about that. Taking a good punch, I'm not even concerned about that really, because we've seen what happens when she's been dropped and she's got up and then she's whooped the girls behind, Hannah Graybros, which is a bigger girl. I'm sure she's a bigger girl than Savannah. And has got faster hands than Savannah. So, and I love Savannah, but I don't know if she can beat Hannah Gabriels. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it 100% real. So the only way I can see Savannah winning this fight is by keeping her outside, by keeping Shields on the outside. Otherwise, I just see Shields swarming Savannah with shots. It's just buzzing up in and out. Too busy, too fast, too classy. I see that. And the only way Marshall wins this fight, for me, is by KO. Or she hits Shields so hard that she knocks Shields out, or Shields gets hit so hard that she doesn't want to come inside. She gets hit with something nasty. Goes, you know what? I ain't coming in for that. But she's an experienced fighter that can adapt. The corners will be interesting as well. Peter Fury in the corner, John David Jackson. The other thing concerning me about Savannah Marshall, it's the biggest fight of Savannah's career, all right? Bar none. It's not Claressa Shields' biggest fight. I don't believe it is. I don't believe it's the biggest fight of his career. It's probably the biggest fight for UK fans to see a fight, but I don't think it's the biggest fight of his career. I think in terms of the thing that happened in the amateurs, yeah, that's what makes it big. But I don't think it's the biggest fight of her career, you know, because she's been undisputed before. She's been undisputed twice over. So she's won 2 gold medals. They're big fights right there, you know. So I don't see it, but I do see it as Savannah's biggest fight. And, you know, the only time you're going to really see if Savannah and Peter have really gelled is if Shields puts it on Savannah and Savannah has to dig like she's never had to dig before. That's where we're going to see that relationship between her and Peter Fury. It's all well and good when you're knocking girls over, you're in control of the fight, you're the favorite to win the fight. That's fine. But it's not as easy when you're not the favorite and the pressure's on you in your hometown, in your home city, you know? And, you know, there's been stuff again. I think April Harper, her friend, was talking about, Savannah spoken to her about being realistic about this fight, the possibility, the realism. You know, when they say the possibilities of this fight, the possibility of your ass getting beat, you know? And then she, as Marshall herself, did it on the Sky Sports thing, you know? Have you considered getting beat? Yeah, I've considered it. And Claressa said, we've already been beat there. So, you know, and then I looked at Marshall, you know, they're meant to do the face-off. When they did the face-off and Claressa had all her belts there, Savannah didn't even bring her belt. She didn't even bring her belt to say, yeah, I'm a champion. She didn't bring that belt. Maybe it's psychological. And she's just focused on being a challenger to be hungry to look at the belts. But, you know, I'd been bringing my belt. I'd be saying, hey, this is my belt. I'm coming to take your belts. I didn't see that. To me, Savannah looked like she saw a ghost. And I hope that I'm completely reading into this the wrong way. And I hope that fight night Savannah comes up like a tiger and she proves me completely wrong. But I didn't like the body language I saw. We've still got the press conference and then the weigh-in we're going to see. We'll see if she's been spooked and looked like a ghost or spooked by a ghost or she really is in the zone. We'll see. We'll see what the Silent Assassin does on Saturday night. But the weigh-in is going to be key, of course, and we'll tell from that. But there are people talking in the room, so I'm going to shut up for a minute and listen to what our people got to say in the house. Let's see what people are saying in the house. Let's go. I've never seen Savannah a tough fight. Unknown factor Saturday. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said if I were managing Savannah, I wouldn't want to see that. However, you know, that's the same reason why they're taking this fight, I think. Because if Savannah isn't a hard fight and she mentally cracks, you won't want to mentally cracking against anybody less than the GWO. Do you get me? Claressa is basically the female Mayweather. Yep, you were right there. What's up, Ingram? BG London. Oh, it's BG London. Wow, bro. Salute to you, my brother. Evening, Ingram. Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us. Of course. No worries. Sky Sports uploaded Shields versus Marshall amateur fight. The comment section will say, it's a robbery. Claressa won. Sky Sports took the video down. Embarrassing. Shake my head. Bugs Fitness. Bless fam. Yes, bro. Shout out to you. Support to you, bro. All the best. Need to come and give me some support over what I'm doing with the young people over here. Eve, good evening. By the way, everybody, this video is inspired by Eve Popat, another soldier. Soldier Eve. Shout out to Eve. The beautiful Eve. Shout out to Eve again. Nice to have you in the room. She was the one who contacted me on the way home. I just did finished filming at the studio, TNT television for the weekly show. And I was on my way back and Eve asked me to do a video on this. So Eve, please let me know your thoughts. Let me cheer. The fans can't fight for you. The corner can't fight for you. It's just you and me, buddy. Floyd Mayweather versus Robert Guerrero. Absolutely. And Shields has consistently been caught with the uppercut exchanges. This is actually how Shields got down by Hannah Gabriels. Yeah. But you're looking at Hannah Gabriels. I believe that fight was a super middleweight. And you look at Hannah Gabriels. Are you comparing the hand speed of Hannah Gabriels to Savannah Marshall? That's the thing. When Savannah throws that right hand uppercut, you see she leaves all this open. She leaves herself open to the overhand right. So they may, that uppercut, the overhand right is a punch. I'm telling you, if she decides to go like that, like the way she does, and leave her, when she does that and she sways, watch her sway. She sways from left to right. She's got no defense when she's backed up. All here is open. You see her throw uppercuts. All here is open, exposed. Mixes. I believe and hope Savannah can win, but Claressa's confidence, self-belief is very impressive. Well, she's got every right to be. She's got every reason to be. Yes, sir. Liam says, would like to see anyone from Shields' team try and lay a finger on Peter. We're doing very bad. Can't see that happening somehow. When Marshall was with Mayweather Promotions, they shelved her. She came back to the UK and she filled out well, and she's thicker built as well. That could be an issue for Shields. No, not really. Have you seen how thick that? Wait, there's two girls you need to look at. The current undisputed champion, I think it's super middle or light heavy. The current super middleweight champion of the world. Have you seen how thick she is? And then Hannah Gabriels as well. See how thick she is. Savannah, no, bro. The champion of the world today, I think it's Cruz. And that girl hits like a truck. Hannah Gabriels, tough lady, very good win for Claressa. There you go. Shields will need to find rhythm of Marshall early on and get stuff established so she doesn't warm up. Then out-hustle Marshall. I think she's going to try and out-hustle Marshall. The double jab. If you go and look at that fight go look at that fight for Lolita. The double jab. Lolita hits with a double jab. Lolita's no Olympic champion. She's no gold medal winning undisputed champion. It's just double the jab of Marshall, and Marshall's backing up with a double jab. We haven't yet had a chance to see Shields and Marshall inside and clinch game. I wonder what happens if it becomes a street fight where the referees gets involved. Very curious. But I think Marshall will be, because she's American, inside the pocket, she'll be better. If Claressa can generate power from her butt, she'll have Deontay Wilder power. LOL. I think that's what Bashir said. If she sits down on her punches inside of Marshall. Good evening. How are we doing, brother? Do you think both Claressa and Savannah have knocked down guys in sparring? I don't think. I'll leave it as that. I don't think. VG London bum squad. Butt squad. April Hunter's a bum, lost to Journeywoman. Savannah should hang out with winners. We'll talk, bro. Yeah, would really appreciate it. Really appreciate any help I could get at the moment for our young players here in Africa. It's very, it's very painful as I'm coaching these guys. We've got young players there that, can't afford to, not they can't afford, but trainers and just basic things. And it's hard. It's hard. But this is one of the things why I came out to work in Africa and to coach in Africa. I wanted to have that experience to see things for myself, you know. But now I'm here, I'm seeing it. It's not easy out here. And the thing is, things are not, you know, in comparison to the English economy and stuff, it's cheap out here in comparison. This would be a very good fight, but I see someone starting to run away with it at midpoint waypoint. Yeah, if even that, if CLARESSA gets onto Marshall early and the punches start flying early, it's that fast start from CLARESSA, that very fast start, and that hand speed. That's what I'm saying. She's gonna have to keep her at distance. But yeah, if anybody wants to see what I'm doing, please do check it out. It's on this channel, and you can see the videos there in the playlist. So yeah, I think that's it. Claressa Shields, Savannah Marshall. I want to see the press conference, and I want to see, and I definitely want to see the wave. I want to see what's going on there with Marshall. You know, if Marshall freezes, rabbit in the headlights, and CLARESSA's already told her she's let her country down already. So CLARESSA's going to come out with that stuff. I think Savannah's about 5'9". Tall girl, 5'9", I'd say. As for Michaela Mayer, I could see her Lennox Lewising Bumgarda, standing taller and using it like jab to stand up Alicia, pugilist specialist. Yeah, I like Michaela Mayer. Actually, she's following me on LinkedIn. I like Michaela Mayer. I've always liked her. But that right hand of Bumgarda, she could be doing all that stuff she's doing, and one right hand could send her to what's the place again? The Phantom Zone. Like she sent, what's her name, to the Phantom Zone? 5'11", 5'11". I think Savannah is a legitimately tall girl. She's a tall girl. As I told you, I've met her. She's a tall girl. 6 foot. No, I don't think Savannah's not 6 foot. I can tell you now, she's not 6 foot. Remember, wearing trainers, 2-3 inches. You get a brand new pair of trainers, and you get the 3 inches, the 2-3 inches. Yeah, so it makes you look taller than you actually really are. Michaela, different class of Terry, though, no disrespect. You don't want to get hit with that right hand. That's all I'm saying. If Marshall initiates a scuffle at the weigh-in, that will definitely send a message. Oh yeah. Marshall's ready to do that sort of stuff. Marshall's ready to go there. I don't think Savannah's there for that. How tall is CLARESSA? 5'6" or 5'7"? Can no one test me, man? Lennox Lewis, pugilist specialist. England, what's Peter like as a trainer? Is he tough as nails? Peter's a wonderful man. Absolutely. And I'm not just saying that because I've met a lot of people in boxing. He's a wonderful guy. He's a guy you could just sit down. It's like a fountain. And just watching him. So I've been up close and watched him train up close in camp. He invited me into camp when he was training with Hughie Fury. Savannah was in camp. What's his name? Ayodele was in camp before he turned pro. The heavyweight, he was in camp. Actually, he was in camp sparring with Hughie Fury. They were preparing for Sam Sexton for the British title in Bolton. So I've gone and seen the fight, and yeah, he's a great trainer. Obviously, I've been in camp as well with Uncle Bashir. I've seen him up close in camp as well, working with Vlad Tsarenko. I've also watched Xavier Miller as a trainer as well. I've watched a few trainers I've watched up close. But Peter Fury knows his boxing, and he takes no shit in military style, you know. So very military. Have you seen Tyson when he was in camp? No, I haven't seen Tyson in camp. I've also seen Don Charles when he's training Chisora in camp, preparing for Hay. Yeah. Peter's very connected. Oh, you people are funny. Yes, BWTM Sports. Yeah, 5'11" is 5'10". If you're in Marsha's corner, the first 4 rounds, what would your bullet points be to her? My points would be to her, if Claressa gets close, tie her up. Tie her up. Make sure you got a referee that once you tie up, you break. And when you break, move behind the referee, move with the referee. As the referee moves, you move with the referee. Roy Jones used to do it. Move behind the referee, gives you more time to prepare, reset, and go again. As she comes close, tie her up. And when you're on the ropes, and you start complaining to the referee. Start doing that stuff. So the referee sees you're uncomfortable with it, and if he's a referee that's in the favor of the UK fighter, then what you do, all that stuff, all them tricks, all that stuff, you show a bit of stress when she's tying her up and she's fighting and trying to hit low and stuff. Turn, break, and it's reset. Like I be saying, use that jab on her, use that jab of her, and hit her hard. Hit her hard. But I would suggest do not throw any uppercuts. Timer, keep at the end of the jab and make sure you keep at the end of the jab and keep her with the right hand, keep her like a firework at arm's length. Keep Claressa at arm's length. When she comes close, tie her up. Do not fight with her up close. You cannot match her for hand speed. Timing beats speed. So I'll be telling her, listen, got to time Claressa, time her. And maybe when she's finished the combination, then you strike. But otherwise, just try and box. Try and keep her long. Keep her long. Don't engage. Claressa needs to pull an Ann Wolf knockout, LOL. How good is Xavier Miller? Do you think he was experienced enough to be head coach of Dillian versus Tyson? Dillian obviously thought so. We'll leave it as that. Bruce Theory. Oh, bro, you want to come in? Do you want to jump in, bro? Let me see if I can. I don't know. I can't even bring you in like that because my WhatsApp's down. Damn. How you doing, bro? Xavier comes across like a sound bloke, but he didn't seem like he was out of it. He did seem he was out of his depth a little, but could also be Dillian wasn't in a good place in the first place. Look, Dillian backed Xavier to be his head coach. It's Dillian White's decision, isn't it? Just like Anthony Joshua picked Angel Fernandez to train. He'd be his head coach and Robert Garcia to be the second man. Who am I to say anything? So, what do you think a bruising rough fight will tie with types favor Marshall? Well, she's got no choice because that's what's coming her way. That's what is coming her way. That's the fire that's coming her way. Speed does kill, but timing beats speed. Mayorga, Mosley had the faster hands. Not Mayorga. Vernon Forrest, tall and long. And Mosley, short up with fast hand speed, who won the fight on both occasions. Timing beats speed. But if you got great speed and timing, you got a problem there, bro. The brutal British gentleman. I know this ain't part of the subject, but when you're going to talk to Ali about his perspective on the Usyk and AJ fight, I'd love to hear from him. We did that already. Dillian should have gotten Bashir. Well, Savannah will move and jab like Huey. Yes. That style is very languid. It's cool. I just don't know how it does against a buzzsaw that's chucking overhand rights, and that's my concern. Don't know why Dillian left Tibbs. To be honest, heard it was something about not wanting to pay 10% once he became pay-per-view. Ooh, blackout. Yeah, let's keep it rocking. That's the shirt Pacquiao used to walk around wearing. Speed kills. Yep. Ask him what happened after he fought Marquez. How much speed killed the night that Marquez hit him with that right hand. The funniest video was when Bashir Ingram and that other coach were talking about Usyk and Joshua, and Bashir was in the car having banter. Yeah, it was quite funny. I like it when Bashir turned around and said that if Joshua has problem sleeping, Usyk's got a nice remedy for that. I'd love to join. I'm on lunch break. I'm on lunch break at work. LOL. Dillian White just turned his lights off. Do you think Fury is calling Usyk's bluff by offering AJ fight, or is AJ the bigger fight? I don't even listen to Fury no more. I really don't listen to him anymore. I don't listen to him. Who the hell wants to see AJ fight Fury when you can fight Usyk and Fury can fight for the undisputed heavyweight championship in the world? We want undisputed. AJ can get back in the line and fight for it, man. What's wrong with them? I haven't even paid any mind to it. Fury's talking. This is the same man that said he would fight AJ for free, right? If he fight AJ for free, what's the negotiation about? Is he going to fight AJ for free? I bet he don't fight AJ for free. I thought he wanted 500 million. I thought he said he was retired. I thought he said he's never going to box again. Now, remember, this is the same Fury that also told us Manwar Shah was lined up if Usyk wouldn't fight him. So for Manwar Shah, he's upgraded to Anthony Joshua. Nonsense. I don't pay him no mind. Do you agree with Hatman that Usyk will make Fury very uncoordinated when they fight? Absolutely. Just look. Steve Cunningham. Steve Cunningham is not even in the same class as Alexander Usyk. And you saw what Steve Cunningham did. If Fury thinks he can just put his gloves up, like put his arms up and walk Usyk back, he can forget it. Because Usyk will slide to the sides. Yeah, I think he'll mess with Fury. I really do. Dean White saying he don't think it's a good idea for AJ to fight Fury this year just because he wants to make his fake bro to get AJ payday. I don't think AJ should fight Fury. He needs to sort out what's going on in his life, his career, and whether he's still going to have those two chances, Fernandez and Garcia, continue to ruin his career for him. Marshall Shields has potentially fight the candidate. Absolutely. GGG3 could be a banger. Could be a banger, particularly if GGG did the unthinkable and knocked Canelo out. Could you believe that? We want undisputed light heavy, but Ingram Jones says he's retired. Oh, well, we can dream. Manuel Shah's best years were when he was in contention against the Klitschos. He's a shadow of his former self. But Fury said he's going to fight Manuel Shah at the end of the year. Now he's talking about Anthony Joshua. I don't listen to anything Fury says. I don't listen to anything Fury says. I've come to the conclusion of Tyson Fury. If he says it, don't believe it. If he does it, believe it. I think this version of AJ actually has a better chance of beating this version of Fury. He just needs his coaching sorted. How do you see Fury doing if he tries to long arm and fight on the back foot? Do you think Usyk will struggle to get inside and land? Hey, have we forgot about Usyk fighting Joe Joyce and fighting in the WSP series? Fury's never fought anybody as skilled as Usyk. Fury's relied on his weight and his height. Okay, Klitschko. But that was Klitschko. And Klitschko's issues were he doesn't like to fight. He doesn't like to fight. He likes to box. He likes to control range. Usyk's different. Usyk will fight you if he needs to fight you. And he'll box when he needs to box. He'll mix it up. And he's not mentally weak like Klitschko. So I think it's a great fight. Note the aftermath of AJ Usyk to a Chicha videos. He wasn't there. You were just talking to Eugene. No. Did a video. I did a video with Bashir. Sure, I did a video with Bashir. When you look up stranger character in the dictionary, the entry reads, please see Tyson Fury. I just call him, I've got a new name. I call him Flip Flop Fury. That's what it is. There is no way Usyk will tire for Fury to lean on him. That's it. That's it. Fury's got to lean on him. And when he leans on him, he leaves himself open to getting it himself. I don't know. I hear Usyk wants to help AJ against Fury. Everyone wants to help AJ. Even Fury wanted to help AJ. Yeah, fair enough. Great fight. If Usyk wins and retires, does he go down as arguably the greatest of all time? He's got to be part up there, hasn't he? Undisputed cruiser and heavyweight. Yeah, but Evander did the same thing too as well. Against arguably a better caliber fighters. Tyson, Lewis, well, Holy Bo. Well, he didn't beat didn't beat Lewis, did he? I don't know. Let's go on my light now, man. I like. Let me get my lights going. There we go, like there. And like most of today's big man, Fury doesn't punch down or defend well against body attacks. Both things needed against Usyk. Fury wants to help AJ against himself. Well, I tell you what. Before just to close, think about this. Sugar Hill joining Alexander Usyk. Check that out. That would be great. Let me get out of here, by the way. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments. As always, this has been BWTM Sports Gaming. And we're out. Thanks for watching as always.